Thank you all so much for coming today. This is really an exciting announcement for us, which is the formation of the International Center for Accessible Radio Technology. This is a joint effort of founding members NPR, Harris Corporation, and Towson University, three organizations that each in their own right have a demonstrated willingness to innovate, a deep commitment to public service, as well as deep expertise in digital technologies. And as the saying goes, but wait, there's more, because this is sort of 2 for Tuesday here, I think, at CES. We have an actual demonstration of both a radio reading service for the blind being broadcast digitally, as well as the very first ever live captioned radio broadcast.
Starting with today, the great opportunity to take this new technology and expand it to new and underserved audiences. 10% of Americans who are visually or hearing impaired now, through this new technology, through accessible radio, we have the chance in public radio and in the radio industry to begin to serve this audience with news, information, and emergency services. That goes really quite to the core of what NPR and public radio is about, and that's why it's such a great privilege for me to be here to share with our partners here at this table the announcement of this new project and this new center. I want to turn it over now to Howard Lance, the chairman of the board of the Harris Corporation. And I want to say again the great gratitude that NPR has for our friends at Harris, who ever since the inception of the Tomorrow Radio projects 5 years ago has been our partner every step of the way. And we wouldn't be here today making this announcement without the great partnership, the great camaraderie, the great collegiality of Howard and his team at Harris. So it's a privilege to turn this microphone over to him.
Thank you, Ken. Good morning, everyone. It is our pleasure to be part of this project. And we think that we really are at the dawn of a new age. NPR has always been at the forefront of advancing radio technology and programming across the country, and so it's natural for us to want to continue our partnership with NPR. What we are working on is clearly a tailor-made for this effort. HD technology, because of the digital compression schemes, allows the bandwidth to be used for additional kinds of multicasting applications. As Ken indicated, many public and NPR station affiliates are already multicasting in the market. We think the opportunity to take this to the next level and utilize these tools for this project and to support the ICART initiative makes a lot of sense from that standpoint. Many of the pundits have called and predicted the death of radio at a number of times over the last 87 years. We believe that HD radio and that technology and what our broadcast customers around the globe are doing with it is really going to take radio to the next level and secure its place as a viable element of delivering rich content to consumers around the globe. Again, I want to thank all of you for your attendance and interest in this topic, and I'm now going to pass it off to Terry Cooney. He's Dean of the College of Liberal Arts at Towson.
Thank you, Howard. The College of Liberal Arts at Towson University is pleased and very excited to be involved in this project with Harris and NPR Labs for accessible radio technology. The second largest university in the 12-campus University of Maryland system, Towson gains vitality from its location in the Baltimore metropolitan area, its proximity to Washington and Philadelphia, and its strong working relationships with community, government, and corporate organizations. As the academic partner in ICART, Towson will have direct and ongoing contact with sensory disabled individuals to explore issues of interface design and to conduct psychoacoustic and consumer testing. The College of Liberal Arts is well positioned to assume this role because of the presence of Dr. Ellen Sheffield at the Department of Psychology. Dr. Sheffield has a sustained history of involvement with the radio industry, having worked for Lucent Technologies, for Ubiquity Digital Corporation, and for the last 4 years with NPR Labs as a consultant and a co-principal investigator on federally funded research grants. As co-director of ICART, Dr. Sheffield will conduct research on interface design and on the psychological issues that lie behind the use of products. Over the next 3 to 5 years, Dr. Sheffield anticipates working in the critical areas of emergency alerting for the sensory disabled, bringing captioned radio to the deaf and hard of hearing, and establishing interface design standards for receiver manufacturers. Her research interests stretch to all community constituents who may have special needs, including work on a radio brailer for the deaf-blind, educational issues for sensory disabled children, and services for the geriatric community. Towson University and the College of Liberal Arts in particular is honored to stand with NPR Labs and Harris Corporation as a co-founder of ICAR. We look forward to working with a growing list of partners and with the international community to make access to information and the cultural interconnections it brings both global and inclusive.
We're here this morning to demonstrate the new iCard project, and let me tell you just a little bit about what we have here. But before I do, the genesis of this was probably some 30 years ago when something called radio reading services for the blind began operating. I have a sample of one here.
You wouldn't be impressed. He took a long tug of his beer bottle. I doubt if I can hang on until she...
And what this is for blind and print handicapped individuals to be able to receive information from their local newspapers, the grocery store ads, the funeral notices, books, magazines, things that we would normally take for granted, but that these people don't have access to. So what we've done is we've taken this a step further now to be able to help those who are deaf and hard of hearing. So what we have now, please start the audio. We have a regular HD radio low power transmitter here supplied by Harris, and it has all the equipment to do what we're doing here, generate multicast, and we will be in just a moment starting the audio on that so you can hear what this is. Now, HD radio, in case you're not familiar, is a means of adding digital carriers to a standard analog broadcast like we have on AM and FM. So we take a tiny sliver of that digital spectrum that is available to put on multiple audio programs, and we can transmit the text. So let me change the radio here from the reading service over to NPR, a live feed from this morning.
Supposedly, and his presence brought some media attention to a political event far from the primary stage.
Now what we have on the display is audio that is being transcribed into text simultaneously with what you're hearing on the radio, so that those folks who cannot hear can follow along with the broadcast at the same time. Now what I'd like to do is turn this over to Professor Ellen Sheffield of Towson University, who is going to explain to us a little bit about the research that's going into this to be able to properly implement this.
Over the next 6 months, iCart's responsibilities will be to take the technology that you're seeing here and convert it into user-friendly, good user interface design for the sensory impaired populations. So that means that we'll be working together with the deaf community and the blind community very closely in order to start to fulfill their needs. For the deaf community, as you can see, this will be looking at how we put together captioned radio that will allow them not only to read the text that you see going across, but also to capture the enjoyment of the experience of the radio programming. And for the blind, it will be to ensure that radio reading services stays maintained at a good quality, and also, most importantly, to create features on the radio for digital radios that will be accessible and easy for them to use, and most probably will be audible feedback so that they can audibly work their way through the digital radio